Hi everybody, this is Miss Grenade, and we're going to learn about writing two-step equations today. Our TEK is 7.10a. Write one variable, two-step equations to represent constraints or conditions within the problem. That sounds kind of confusing, but you're going to understand that when we actually start doing one of the real-life problems. What this means is that you will write a two-step equation to solve a real-world problem. Okay, two-step equations. The good news is that this is very much like writing the y equals mx plus b equations that we just finished. Remember that the b was your, what was that? That was your spulia, your starting point on the y-axis. And what was the m? M was the rock, or the rate of change. So write that in there. Okay, we're going to practice with a real-life problem. Chris's landscaping bill is $392. The plants cost $200, and the labor cost $48 per hour. How many hours did the landscaper work? Okay, so we've got our plants here that he's going to buy to plant, and then we've got the labor. He's going to hire somebody to do it so he doesn't have to do it himself. And then this is going to be our total cost. So what do you think the plants cost? It tells you in the problem. Read the problem. Write your answer here. Oops, $200 for the plants, right up here. The plants cost $200. Okay, the labor is $48 per hour. So we're going to use the variable h for hour. And then the total cost, it tells you in the very beginning sentence, Chris's landscaping bill is $392. That's going to be the total cost. In this unit, we'll be using variables to represent the actual words in the problems instead of x and y like we did with the y equals mx plus b equations. So C represents the cost, and H represents the number of hours that we worked. So to show you how this relates back to our linear relationships, what is the one-time number? Fill in the blank on your sheet. It's the $200 because you just pay for the plants one time. So what is the rock? What is the rate of change? Fill in your blanks for the number. And that would be the $48 because you have to multiply that by the number of hours. So if we made a table for this, I'll do this while you're copying those answers. Oops, yeah, I always do this, guys. Okay, so if we made a table for this, and this is our x, this is our y, okay? The x is going to be our h. The y is going to be our cost. So at 1 hour, I forgot the zero. At 0 hours, it'd be $200. At 1 hour, it would be 1 times 48 plus 200. At 2 hours, it would be 2 times 48, which is 96, plus the 200, so it'd be 296. So see, this is our rate of change. It's adding 48 here, 200 plus 48, and then 248 plus 48. So what the number that you're multiplying by the variable is going to be your rate of change. Okay, next we're going to write a verbal description of a two-step equation. I'm going to give you the equation, and then we're going to try to figure out a real-world problem that would go with it. So 5x plus 50 equals 120. First, we're going to analyze what each part of the equation means mathematically. So x is what we're looking for. X is going to be the solution. If you'll wait just a minute while I explain this, then I'll show you the answers for you to copy down. X is the solution of the problem. And so 5x means that we're going to multiply 5 times x. You know what a number and a variable means together. Plus 50 just means we're going to add 50 to this answer. By following the order of operations, we've got to multiply first and then add. And then equals 120 means that's the answer to our question. That is the result of our problem. So fill in these blanks. X, here's the equation again up here. X is the solution of the problem. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for what x equals. We're not going to find it today, but that's what we're going to be doing on our next lesson. X is the unknown quantity that we're looking for. 5x, well, we've already talked about that. That just means that we're going to multiply 5 times x. Plus 50 means that for a reason given in the problem, 50 is added to the 5x. And equals 120 means that after multiplying the solution x by 5, that's right here, multiplying the solution x times 5, and then adding 50 to it, the result will be 120. Okay. Since we all like to buy things, let's use an example of you saving money for something you want to buy. I bet all of you have done that at one time or another. So let's think about if we're saving to buy something, what could the $120 be? Write down what you think that would be. Oops, sorry. That's going to be your answer, and you're trying to save for something that you want to buy. So write down what you think. Yes, you can wait till I go to the next slide, but I'd rather you try it first. Okay, what could the $50 be? Because we're going to be adding 50. What part does that play in our equation? Think back to our y equals mx plus b, and to the other one that we just did about Chris's landscaping. Okay, what could the $5 be? Because that's something that we're going to have to multiply by our unknown quantity here. Okay, how about the $120 could be, and you don't have to have this written down exactly. Maybe something you come up with that's a little different. But the 120 is the amount you're saving up to buy something you want. You could have written down like total cost, how much the whatever it is costs. Okay, the $50 could be somebody gave you birthday money, because this is your starting point. That's what you're starting with, is the $50. It's money that you already had saved in a savings account, or maybe you have a big piggy bank that's got $50 in it. It could be a gift from your parents to start an account, or to start you saving for whatever it is that you want. But this is your starting point. Remember that your spulia. The $50 is what you're starting with. Okay, the $5 then is going to be something that you are going to probably save each week or each month, depending on how you're going to try to do your savings. Because that's the money that you need to save, I'm going to say each week. So we'll have to multiply 5 times the number of weeks. Figure out how many weeks that would be. We will do that later. We're going to have to figure out how many weeks we would have to save, $5 each week, to add to the 50 that we already have in order to get 120. So the one-time money is the $50 you started with, your starting point or SPUIA. $5 is the rock that you will use to multiply by the variable. It's the number of weeks you will save. And this is all we're going to do today. We're not going to try to solve for X. We're just trying to figure out how these problems can work with real life and how we can use these equations to solve those. You know what's next. Remember to do the problems on the Google Doc and hit submit.